I'm done. No, it's open, yeah.
No, don't have green glasses.
Mhm.
Green glasses, maybe.
Yeah. I had a big spot on one.
Seven.
Okay.
7 o'clock.
I can see, okay, 7 now?
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening. I'd like to call a meeting to order. Our meeting of November 25th. Can I have a mover, please? Seconder.
Moved by Counselor McInnes, seconded by Counselor Corbett, that this meeting be opened at 7 p.m.
All in favor? Carried. May I have a mover and seconder for the adoption of the agenda?
Moved by Counselor Clark, seconded by Counselor Featherstone, that the agenda presented to Council and dated the 25th day of November 2025 be adopted as prepared.
All in favor? Carried. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof? If I have an interest in the closed session, do I say it now? Yes. There's 2 items. I think I'll just say that there are 2 items on there. And one involves myself and another one that my son has worked at that location, I believe.
I'll get you to fill out the paper form later.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not sure the numbers, what was on the agenda. Could I have a mover and seconder for the adoption of previous minutes?
Moved by Counselor McInnes, seconded by Counselor Featherstone, that the minutes of the regular council meeting of November 12th, 2025 be adopted as circulated.
All in favor? Carried. Next, we have a presentation and delegation, and we have Mr. Jules Gagne regarding the Gagne subdivision development. He's going to make a presentation to council this evening.
Thank you, Mayor Paquette, council members, staff. And before I start, I'll introduce Alicia. She's representing Bill Reichels Engineering for any question. You all received my package.
Yeah.
And you all read the package, so I ain't gonna take my 10 minutes I'm allowed to read the package and bring it, leave it for questions. And I'm looking for maybe 3 answers or 3 motions this evening from council. And the first recommendation is the township is currently holding $158,842.11 of my fund as security that should have been released upon the completion of phase 1 of the subdivision. I am requesting the immediate release of 90%, that's 142,957.80 security for phase one that the township is holding. So that is the first resolution I'm looking at. If there's only some concern, now I'll explain to you a little bit on the security. 3 years ago, I put a security because on my subdivision agreement, said that I have to have security. That way it wouldn't be entitled for me to sell 4 lots. If the road wasn't built, the township had security there to build the road, to accommodate the people that buy in lots. Now, the first year, second year, I didn't have no sales of the lots or nothing. So I had no money coming in. The third year, since February 25th, 2025, I did not resign that letter of security. Your CEO sent a memo to the bank saying that I'm not allowed to have my money. So it's been there. So I've been checking with different case. I've been checking with lawyers and everything else. And they asked me, well, Jules, finish the road and see what council's gonna say. So the road is finished, the phase one and phase two. So there's no reason for that hold back. And I haven't sold any lots or nothing, and I don't predict there will be any sold for at the present time. So that's just why I'm going back to get my letter of security. That would be a simple way to get some development and ahead with the township. So, and that's on phase one. The second part is I'm also requesting a payment of $10,000 and $79.60 for the engineer and the drainage retention work that was required to do in front of the community nonprofit seniors home. Now, that is a dilemma, and that's what happened there. I let the seniors home go at a good price for the property that you had read, and the township went ahead and gave them a severance. And after they gave them the severance, they built. So whoever gave the okay for the developer to build that section of road that it was not at the appropriate time developed or built at all. And when that severance came up, I made a comment to the planning that I had an objection. And the objection of the severance was they didn't have 200 feet of frontage and it wasn't 2-acre lot. That was in the bylaw. So, and that's why that. So when I came back to the township and I brought the CEO, I said, who's going to be responsible for that road? Who gave permission? She sent back to the lawyer, and I said, Jules, you don't own the road. The township does. The township was the other. So that means the township must have given permission to Discon to build that road that it was not up to standard and it didn't follow the engineer specs on it. So, and that's why there is a cost for me redoing the ridge and replace the culvert to do the accommodate the seniors home on their drainage. So these are the second resolution I would like to get resolved. Who's going to be responsible for that section of road? And your engineer, Antoine, he must be working more for East Ferris because he come back with all kinds of comments. And all these comments he's coming back is concerning phase 2. And there's never a talk about that 200 feet up in front of the seniors home that was built, that road. And at that time, we did bring up Alex to show him the material that road was when I ditched and showed. And the other time, like the road was built, we called Alex and asked him if it was okay to put the gravel down. And he said it was appropriate. So that is the 2 resolution I would like to clear it up. And I need an answer tonight because I've been doing research. And this has been going on for 30 years. back and forth with the municipality. Maybe you guys weren't there or not there, but I got all more documentation. And the other thing, like this week, I received a note from the hydro, they're ready to do it. And I asked, and I sent it to Nikki, the hydro, and they're looking for the okay to approve the engineer plan of the hydro to set up the posts and everything. And at that time, and I know the engineer, I thought the hydro was putting up the lights, that had to be done, but they don't no more. I wasn't aware. So now I'm aware that the hydro won't put up the light, they would hook them up, but I have to get a designer. And at that time, in 2020, Antoine mentioned there should have been 2 lights, 1 on each corner of the development. So, if that's okay with council, I'll proceed with that. So at the present time, if there's any other question concerning the proposal here, or whatever, so before you pass a resolution, I really need an answer. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, and I'm going to ask, everybody has questions here, but give the next guy a chance to ask the question because of the time. Who wants to start?
No, I'm fine.
So thank you very much, Jules. And I mean, I think that this is going to be a great opportunity for Bonfield. Obviously, we want growth. For me, I think because I did ask a few questions. And my questions were around, and I appreciate that you didn't want to give us too much information.
I can give you all the information you want.
And so that's kind of, there was some pretty big holes for me here. And so basically I would have asked our CAO, based on the agreement. So a couple of things. One, for me was that, the road, agreement was signed in 2 years, and in the subdivision agreement, it says that the roads have to be done within 2 years or the first few houses or whichever is earlier. And so we're past that date.
Yeah.
So my questions were like, is the subdivision agreement is still valid? And then what do our engineers say? So.
Okay, I'll answer you first. First, the agreement says 3 years. And after that, if there would have been 4 houses built or lots sold, I had 2 years to pay. And at that time, I can go back in history, I lost a year because of your lawyer. Because when the agreement was signed and I wanted to get the plan signed and then get things moving, my hands were kind of tied. So I signed the plan. And I think Andreas can vouch for that. The agreement was supposed to go to the Ministry of Housing to review it. But no, the township sent it to their lawyer and he registered. And I don't know if it was, I think it was deliberately, he didn't put the clause in from the ministry was requesting on the agreement. So I lost a whole year because I had to get another lawyer, make an amendment to the agreement to put the ministry's clause on it. So that's why looking at time.
Okay, so my question would be to CAO Council then, has our engineer and our lawyer, if they've signed off on everything, and how much can we actually give back? If we can give back the whole thing or?
Okay, yeah, so we did have a meeting with Mr. Gagne and his engineer on November 5th. We went through what was outstanding. We did a site meeting there as well. It was raining. Mayor Paquette joined us for that meeting. I believe after that meeting, when we left the meeting, Bryco was going to do a report and give back, tell us what was still outstanding and what could be released, kind of come up with a number. But I know our engineer and Bryco Engineering sat down and they worked out some numbers. So I do believe that Outstanding is still the road needs to be widened. So we need another foot on either side of that, which will mean maybe, that's why we're waiting for a report. Will the culverts need to be extended? Will the ditches need to be impacted? We don't know this. And then there's still granular A that needs to be put on, as well as the pavement that will need to be put on. So when we look at all of that, there's a cost still in the security of about $110,000. So right now, even though the agreement said that there was deposits for phase 1 and deposits for phase 2, we didn't collect the security for phase 2. So all we have is phase 1 at 158,000. We need 110. So once we get the report from Bryco Engineering that confirms and agrees with our engineers' numbers, then we can release up to 48,000.
So will that money cover phase 1 and 2? Because we didn't take a deposit for phase 2, which I'm kind of perplexed on.
Yes. So yes, the 110 will cover phase 1 and phase 2. They sat down, did calculations on quantity, and we didn't change the unit number. So we're still using numbers from 2021 on the unit cost, which will be much less than the actual cost. But we presume that Mr. Gagne will get the work done, and it will get done, and then we can release that money once it's done.
Well,
Yeah,
Alicia, would you speak on that?
I was at that meeting and I'm Alicia Sloan-Keys. I'm an engineer and I'm assisting Bill Bryan from Bryco Engineering, who is the engineer for the developer. At the site meeting, the municipality engineer mentioned the width of the road. He was missing a foot over the whole, so half a foot on each side. And the top dressing of gravel, like the smaller gravel on the top before the pavement goes on. I sent an email to him. We did not agree that Bryco has already provided a report. It was sent on the 2nd of October to
Nikki,
that we
Antoine,
completed,
and everybody.
the road was completed. The concerns that Antoine had can be resolved during top dressing. So that's the final things that are done before the pavement goes on. In the subdivision agreement, it talks about either, is it 2 years? I don't know it off by heart, but that pavement would have to be installed within 2 years of the subdivision agreement or 4 lots being sold at 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And our recommendation is that road not be paved before the houses are constructed. We all know that would kind of ruin the pavement anyways. So our recommendation is that the pavement not be installed until at least 4 lots are built, or residents are built. And the width of the road and the top dressing can be addressed before paving and is normally addressed before paving.
good, yeah.
So I guess my concerns are that I see no Proctor on any materials that went in there, and I see no compaction testing done on anything. On a road, there should be compaction tests, and Proctor's done on the materials that are going in.
Well, that was up to your super and everybody else that was building the road, and they should have made comments. And the same material, your engineer used the same material in his spares without building them. But anyway, I'm just indicating
It
is,
wasn't a requirement, like as the engineers and Bill Bryant is a senior engineer. He's actually retired.
Well, I know who he
in
is.
surgery. Yeah, and so he contested to the quality of the materials, and the compaction test is
it's up to
wasn't
you.
required in the subdivision agreement.
I just know at our last meeting that we had with Neri, Nikki, myself, Alicia, and Jules in the meeting room there. I know we did discuss a compaction test, right? And you did agree that you did have no problems moving forward if we did do a compaction test, right? So I'm
Yeah,
just,
if you want to do a compaction test.
no, and I'm just explaining that out there because I know it's been mentioned.
And the
right? it was
compaction
agreed-
test
agreed
could be
upon.
done before it's paved and the final thing.
I mean, I've never
That-
seen a road built without compacting the B and then compacting A gravel. I mean,
Well, it's been there for 2 years and more.
it doesn't
now.
matter. Should have compaction tests, it should have end globe.
Well,
do
it wasn't
compaction
required, so
Well, here's my concern.
It seemed like the township here is not looking for some development. They give me all kinds of excuse.
I appreciate you working as hard.
questioning the quality of the work that was done?
Well, I'm not questioning anything. I'm just questioning why there's no compaction test. I mean,
It wasn't
There was
required.
no requirement for a compaction test.
well, here's my concern is I'm
You
really
do
not
compaction
willing.
test and everything?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what kind of road have you, you doing?
I've done 30 years of road building. I know how to
I
build
know.
roads. Anyways, my concern is for the taxpayers. I'm not looking to put asphalt down on a road that is gonna heave and move and the township be responsible to fix it afterwards. That's where only my concern is. I have no axe to grind with anybody. My concern is protecting the taxpayers from not having to spend a ton of money fixing a road that's might be good, might not be good.
Yeah, but how about the township helping me with my development and finishing Laurie Street and finishing Eric Street and all that stuff that's been discussed? It's on the phase 2.
Just to answer
And
your
when the
question,
township is gonna be prepared to pave their section of road to even out to mine?
Well, we wouldn't
Why?
pave until you're ready.
Well, I couldn't be ready if you're holding my money.
You're not,
Hey, are you guys,
according to our
ready?
engineer, you're not ready.
yes, I am, according to my engineer.
Well, I'm sorry,
Your
but
engineer.
we're gonna go with our engineer to protect the township.
well, I emailed Antoine and I asked him if he had any other concerns. And he said that he responded that he had no other concerns with the road.
That's not the email we got.
Okay,
He
well,
said
he
that
didn't
there's-
really respond. Actually, he came up with some other
So
things, but.
he
didn't,
responded or he didn't?
He,
His
uh,
response, I believe, was asking for the report. Was
Yeah.
asking for something from you in that report.
Yeah, I believe,
And he
Mr.
was-
You actually attached it with
Yeah,
your, with
there is,
your
the report
presentation.
was
yeah.
sent on the 2nd of October, so I'm not sure what other report he's looking for. And I emailed it back and I
believe it was on
haven't
the
had a
outstanding.
response.
I believe it was on the outstanding items that need to be done.
Yeah, but that's in phase 2, and that's why I'm asking the township, are you prepared to resolve the section in front of the seniors home that's connected with this phase 2?
But phase 1's not done. Why
Yes,
would we
it
move to
is.
phase 2?
Phase 1 is done.
Phase 1 is
No,
done, phase 2 is done.
phase
Not
2 is
according to
done.
our engineer. So, I mean,
We didn't even look at phase 1.
would that be the first phase he looked at, wouldn't it?
No,
What does Antoine need? Like, there's a report already sent on the 2nd of October. I don't know what other report, like, there is a final report referred to in the subdivision agreement, but that's after the pavement, after everything's all complete.
and even the phase 1, for the people to get the lots and build, the road only had to be on B gravel for me to get back my funds.
I mean,
So I'm gonna pursue this a little, or if council don't agree with my, thing this evening. And I'm
It sounds
tired.
like everybody did.
I'm really tired. Because I've been at this for 30 years and I have all the kind of excuse from your lawyer, from your engineer, from the past CEO and the past, and yous should not pass that severance to start with. That's creating me the problem at the moment.
Steve,
Compression test. How much, how long, what's involved?
I mean, if the subdivision agreement didn't call for it, but I mean, it should be, when the B gravel was going down, they should have had a roller there compacting.
So the subdivision agreement it's a contract, right?
Yeah.
So if it's not in a contract, we can't go back now and say, we want this,
Yeah. I mean,
unless we want it at, I would assume, our cost.
well, we're not gonna pay for a roller to compact the whole road.
No, the test.
And don't forget,
Yeah, but it should,
If it
whatever.
wasn't in.
I
the
don't know what's in the
agreement.
contract, so,
Right.
I mean, there should have been,
So-
that road should have been compacted.
So if that's our holdup currently, what is involved in that? What's the cost involved?
I don't think that's the only holdup.
Yeah,
what was that? Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's the only holdup, I guess, would be the question. I know that's Councilman McGinnis's question, but.
Sure.
Well, and my question is actually gonna be, I know you've had the opportunity to meet with the developer and you're on site. I'm curious to know your thoughts and your opinions, your worship, since you've been involved in this file, so.
Yes, it's, I'm going to say, and it's my opinion, this is coming from me. I'm not trying to sway anybody else, but I'm going to say what I think about it. I want to know if we release the funds to Jules, we release the funds for him to continue with the road, with everything, to try and get that subdivision up and running. What negative impact would it have on our township to release that 90% to him to continue with this subdivision that has been ongoing for 30 years? What can we do? How can staff help to move this along? He needs the funding to go with the hydro. Otherwise, he can't sell lots to people when there's no hydro. I've known Mr. Gagne for a long time, and he continued to work out of our municipality to bring money back in to put into the subdivision. And he's at the point that he could sell lots. He has suggested that once he sells a couple of lots, then he will bring back a guarantee back to the municipality. Is that going to make a difference? It may make a difference in a good way that that subdivision is finally developing. That's my thoughts. What can we do to move this along? How can we change that? I know that either end on Laurier Street and Eric, it has not been assumed by the municipality, either one of them, but the municipality maintains those roads, that portion, and they've maintained Laurier for a long time without assuming the road. So my thoughts is, how can we support Mr. Gagne to move along? I met with him and he went over paperwork and paperwork and paperwork, and the paperwork is not putting any houses there. How can we change that? I would like to support him, and I don't know otherwise. Jason?
So I too would like to see this development happen as soon as possible. But I'm looking at information that's saying that the subdivision agreement was $142,957.90 needed to be put as security for phase one. And then phase two at $189,830.49 for phase two. So a total security of $348,642.60. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
but, okay,
All that was put in security was $142,957.90.
58.
158. Okay. So I too would like to get this to move forward. My concern is I sit here as a steward on behalf of the taxpayers, and the only security, the only assurity we have to be able to make sure that this road is built to standard, and this happens in subdivision agreements all over the place, is the township or municipality will hold back a security as an assurance on behalf of the taxpayers to say, if something happens, and Jules, this has absolutely nothing to do with you personally, if something happens that road is not built to standard, that the municipality has some funds to be able to actually put it up to standard so that the homes that are built within that neighborhood can actually have a safe road, and the municipality is not on the hook, assuming a road or the developer has walked away from a road that does not meet standard. So correct me if I'm wrong, but in what I've read, the phase two security of $189,830.49, the staff has actually worked with you and said, we're not requiring you to put that on file currently.
Well, the staff didn't say it or nothing, but the road is built and it's ready for the lot to be sold.
Yeah, okay, so then,
The security is there if you understand if the road is not there at all. That way, if I sell the lot that was entitled, if the road was not there, the municipality's got the funds to build the road. But the road is there, everything is up par, whatever the agreement is, and there is no problem. So I'm just suggesting in my agreement if I do sell 3 lots, if I build 3 houses and they're sold, I'll build up back the security for the paving and for the road to be.
Okay, so you agree that there should be security within the township? Because you're saying you'll build it back up.
At the
So
present
the
time,
challenge
you
you're
guys don't
having,
have no commitment. And you got,
what does that mean, sorry?
well, you don't have no commitment. You're not plowing the road. I'm paying tax on that freaking lot, those
Yeah.
lots every year.
For sure.
And tell me what the township is doing for me. You guys are not plowing the road. All you did is
It's
creating me
I'm-
more headaches.
It's a
I'm-
private
Hang
laneway
on.
basically right now.
I'm hoping.
Well, what? No. I'll correct you on that. It's not a private laneway because the municipality already give Descon to use it.
We have plowed there because there's a house up there already on Eric Street.
I'm,
We don't go
No.
further into
You
your
go at
property.
the phase 2 on the senior's home.
Yeah, and turn around right there.
Yeah, but you turn around on my property, that's concerned the phase 2.
so
The
can I
township
keep
don't
going?
own that. So you
So I
guys
think-
already own
I-
that road?
I think
And-
that what I would like to do to support development is follow the agreement. So whatever the developer's agreement is, that is fair and we should be held to that account. We pay
So
an,
give me back my
we, yeah,
142,000.
and the moment our engineer signs off that phase 1, that it is done and complete, fair enough. But until that happens, and no disrespect, but I understand there's been meetings and when I'm reading that there was some sort of a consensus between engineers, feel free to jump in, that
There was some
$40,000.
consent, It was all on phase 2.
It was a suggestion from Antoine with numbers
Okay,
and,
It's on phase 2.
to include phase 1 and 2 together.
right.
But that's not how the subdivision agreement was written, so Jules prefers. to
Correct.
go
The
with
subdivision
phase
agreement
one
was written that we should have $190,000 in addition for phase 2 sitting in
After phase
security.
1 is completed.
But we
But
can't
we're not
change a
there. Like, we're
subdivision.
not-
We can't change a subdivision agreement midway through or,
Yes, you
No.
can.
no, we can't.
Yes, you can.
It's a
I've been
binding
sitting there
contract.
before you, and I know the law.
Well,
So-
good, it's a binding contract.
Huh, it's a contract, but don't forget, your lawyer wrote that contract, and he didn't do any favors
But,
to me.
okay, Jules, I'm not trying to be, I'm just asking, did you sign the contract?
Yes, I did, because I had no choice. After 25 years, don't you think I wanted to have my
And we-
plan of subdivision?
And we appreciate
Agree.
how hard you're working at it,
Yeah.
but I mean, a signed contract is a signed contract. We can't change it halfway
But the
through.
contract says the phase 1 is complete, and your engineer and the road super should have looked at the phase 1 when I made a request in March. They said there was snow. Nobody came out and to review it. So after the phase 1 was done, they should have released me my funds of phase 1. And
Oh, sorry.
yes,
Steve.
So obviously we had an agreement. There's a certain timeline on the agreement. It's probably close to up.
It is up.
Yeah.
It's up now.
That one timeline is up, but the lawyer assures us that it's still within force and effect.
Okay, so,
It can be amended if council wants to amend something, it can,
so
but
we
it goes
have,
back to the lawyers.
we also have options of canceling the agreement, no?
It could be an option.
If we're out of timeline on the agreement. So what happens if we cancel the agreement?
well, that's how you're looking at development in this township?
No,
That's
hold
why
on.
with everything
So
else.
if we cancel the agreement, he would get 100% of his
Yes.
money back.
But the road, the portion of the road that's in front of the retirement homes is part of that the agreement. That's part of the issue, is that the retirement homes weren't there before when this
Before the
started.
agreement.
So that portion of road there is in the subdivision agreement, but it was built by others. So like for our engineering side, you know, I wasn't inspecting the road, that portion of the road when it was built, like I was unaware. And so I can't sign off on that portion of the road. And if you cancel the subdivision, I think it becomes a lot more complicated.
So where did they
But,
get the
like-
drawings for that part of the road?
Hey,
Where did the third party get the drawings for that section of road?
they asked me for the drawing because they wanted to know the elevation of what they had to build, but they didn't have the rights to build the road because they did not follow the plan of the engineer, and they should have required the plan from Bryco to use the plan.
Didn't you just say you gave them the drawing?
I let them.
So normally Descon would have, their engineers would contact the engineers who drew the drawings for the road to
Yeah.
like discuss. or to
I
have
get
the board-
that,
Yeah,
but
so that didn't.
they
that
have the
didn't
draw,
happen.
they had the drawing that you gave.
They had the
them.
drawing, but they didn't follow them. That's what I'm getting at. They didn't do the ditching properly. They didn't ditch whatever they were supposed to. And they didn't build the road up to standard there neither.
The drainage that they left there actually hindered Jules from building his second phase because it was, there was a lot of water that was draining like backwards towards where he was working. And Alex came and saw that too. We had discussions about, you know, Jules is getting up to that point, like what's happening with Descon is, has the township discussed with the quality of the road and stuff, are they gonna do the drainage? Because Jules is getting there, it's gonna stop him from moving forward. And Alex didn't have an answer, I emailed, and, we didn't get an answer, so Jules. just
I'd like
went
to hear
ahead
from
and-
Alex.
I think our last site meeting, when we were on phase two, right, the discussion went as follows. It was that the road, your phase two road, right, was in low-lying land. And I said to you that you will have to meet the grade of the existing road.
And now the
Right.
grade is met.
So, okay, so,
And it's just because he used his wheel. We use a tape measure for 28 feet. And if you measure a lot of roads in the township, they're not 28 feet.
But that's what the subdivision agreement states, probably 28 feet,
Yes,
right?
and I
But-
followed on Twins' plan and he gave us the sketch of it, but he never said that it had to be compacted. He doesn't say that, he just gave it to us and saying the material to be used and the width.
So what, at this point, what is left for, what's left to do that would release anything to Mr. Gagne?
so I think according to the engine, like our township engineer, they want the road widened.
That's on phase two.
But he hasn't
Okay.
provided anything
And-
in
Okay,
writing.
no, but, so let's go back, right? Phase one being your first 4 lots that we spoke of,
Yeah.
right? So your phase one, you're saying is 100% complete. If Antoine goes out there to inspect it tomorrow, it's width is proper, ditching's proper.
Didn't I read that ditching had to be pushed back because
No, that's on phase two, in
Wow.
front of the seniors home that's creating all the discussion.
We were talking, yeah, that Jules is correct. Phase two is what the discussion was about. I can't speak to the fact that if Antoine attended phase one to measure, because I know when we were on site, it was phase two that we measured that was short. To my knowledge, I don't know if he's measured phase one.
And all that other dressing is saying in his comment too, even if it's gonna be widened a little bit, or the eight's gonna be brought up, that's all gonna be done on the final grade
So, no,
of everything. Because the phase one and the fund was that I am allowed to sell the 4 lots, and the fund was supposed to be there on the phase one.
so
So I didn't want no complication if I get a sale of the
so
lot.
you have A gravel on the road.
Yes,
How are you gonna widen it with B without contaminating all the A?
well, that's my problem, eh?
I guess, just asking.
So, yeah. So I'm trying to simplify all of this because there's lots of noise in the room I'm trying to boil it down to something simple. So, phase two has started.
It's done pretty well. It's done till the finished grade comes up.
Okay, but we do not have a security of
But you're not
189,000.
gonna get it neither, because the road is done.
no, but Jules, I understand that you're saying the road's done, but
And that's-
according to the spec, right? The width isn't there, so essentially the road is not complete.
What
to
6
spec.
inches is compared?
But it's,
Like, are you guys are gonna stop my
I'm
whole
not- listen,
development
Jules, I'm
for
not trying to
6
argue.
inches?
I'm not trying to argue. All I'm saying is
Hmm?
it's
can't
laid
get
out in the
questions that-
specifications for the width, right? So we're talking about going by the specs provided within the subdivision agreement, correct?
Well, I'll have it before you assume the road.
Okay, but what I'm saying is it fair to state that the road is not up to spec then if there hasn't been the correct width?
No, it is up to spec
Okay.
on the B gravel for on the phase two, and the road is there, it's traveling and everything else, everybody's traveling on it.
No, I understand the roads in
I
place.
think we need
That's-
something from the engineer saying what it is that's deficient, because my
I thought
understanding was
that's
that it was.
the last
ready.
meeting we had, I thought that's what was discussed.
Yeah, and I asked,
the road
I
width
sent the
as
email
well
asking
as
for
the
something
ditching
in
spots, right?
writing. and-
I can't personally speak to it, I'm not an engineer, I'm not
No.
the township engineer, right?
Yeah,
So,
no, I'm
we
just
can-
saying
We can leave
that
that for Antoine.
I
but-
would like something in writing. If it is deficient, then,
Yeah, and
we
that's,
need
like
that
I
in
said,
writing, and
that's,
normally we would get a report.
that's for him to
And we
determine.
didn't.
right?
One,
So-
Can I keep going? Yeah.
I think Nikki has.
I think Jason's first.
Well, again, I'll just come back to my point. So there's lots of noise. There's things that you're asking us to release the entire funds tonight, except there's all kinds of noise in the room, including from our engineer, and some miscommunication or misunderstanding that it's not ready to go. So on behalf of the taxpayers that I represent, I'm not prepared to release funds until it's clear that it is done and our engineer signed off. If we can get that to happen, then obviously we want to honor the agreement. We should also honor the agreement. If phase two is done, but the road is not completed, as a township, I guess this is a question, what liability do we have that if in the end the top dressing doesn't happen or the paving doesn't happen and we have zero security on, because we will essentially then have zero because we haven't collected the 189. So we don't have 189 for phase two. We're going to release all of the security that we have. And I understand you're trying to get liquidity so that you can continue the project. And I appreciate that. I get it. I just don't know how to support that. But in my role of protecting the township and the taxpayers, making sure that, as I would with any other subdivision agreement, that we have the ability to finish that, not on the taxpayers' backs, if we get to the end of the project and things have fallen apart. So we will have essentially released all of our security. Is that fair?
You're not releasing everything. I said after 3 lots,
Yeah.
I would bring back up the security.
Okay, but we're releasing
Okay.
it until 3 lots, and you have
Well,
stated earlier
I
that
got no
you.
money. I got no thing.
And I
you're not
appreciate
helping
that.
them.
But
And the
what
other
I-
thing is,
but
you
hang
guys are not gonna sit down.
But what you
And-
said to us is you have no lots for sale currently, and you have none in the foreseeable future. You said that earlier in the
Yes.
meeting. But we're gonna release all of the security to you, that when you sell 3 lots, but you have no lots that you predict for sale. So now we're sitting with roads with no security.
Are you using the road? Have you got any responsibility road?
I'm not using the road.
Is there any people that's building on the road? So even when it comes to the building permit, the municipality's got the right to reject the building permit until they get a security for the balance of the road.
So back to the point, are we not then nullifying the whole agreement essentially? In essence, in principle, the whole agreement is nullified if that's what we're doing.
Council can do anything they wish.
No, I know, but I'm asking you, like, if
but,
we walk down that
you know-
road and I'm just, if I come over to your side of the argument, you're asking us to give up all of our side of the agreement so that you can continue on yours, but
Yes.
but if we hold you to account on that, then the agreement is done because you don't have liquid. You don't have
We
liquidity.
don't
and
have no liquid.
You don't have the cash to
municipality
do
can
it.
put a lien on that property tomorrow morning
Sorry,
for
say
the
that again?
security.
Say that again,
And
sorry?
that's how it's done.
Sorry, I didn't
Like,
hear that.
We're talking about the township of Bonsfield. We're not talking about the city of Aurelia, Barrie, North Bay. That development goes up. and
Excuse
there's
me,
lots
I
sold
refuse to lower our standards to what we should be holding our taxpayers accountable for and holding,
before. Well,
we're not less than,
you're holding
Mr.
the
Gagne.
taxable
I would
accountable
actually ask
for
you
the
to,
lawyer's fee.
I reject your premise that we're less than another municipality, and I'll state that.
Well, anyway,
So,
I'm just saying that.
Where is the liability for the township if we did release his funds to finish phase one? Say 2-3 years down the road, he discontinues the project altogether. Where are we at? We still have the road that goes as far as the seniors housing. We're not responsible for the road past that. So to me, there is no risk at that point because there's no other houses built at that point.
if that's the case, right, then I personally believe that the road would need to be blocked off so that there's no access whatsoever, right? That way, if there's no access, there's no trespassing signs, we can go on, but I mean, if that's the case and the road's blocked off totally, right, as it's Mr. Gagne's property, he has the right to do that, right? So if it's totally blocked off and not accessible, then
So at that point, would it just not become a private road? Like a unorganized?
well, it would just be
road?
private property at that point, right?
Unmaintained, yeah.
It's
So-
not considered a road at
But,
that.
but what I'm saying is right now there is open access to the roadway, right? Like there's open access at either end, right? So if
Correct.
it is Mr. Gagne's property, so if he wanted to close off access on both sides of the road, which I think he's more than welcome to do, being it's his property, right? To guarantee that there's no transportation going through, right?
I mean, I'd like to see this go through, but I just follow the subdivision agreement. That's all we're asking.
And I'm asking a little bit of
We,
a little bit of leniency
Right.
on behalf of council. I ain't moving away tomorrow morning like everybody else can move away, because I got more responsibility in this township, and I was born and raised here. And I know this township more than any.
So, Mr. Gagne, you're standing in front of us asking for leniency on behalf of council, but that is not what you are sending our way. That is not what you're presenting to us tonight.
Yes, I am.
No,
If you
you're
read
saying
my
that it's been
proposal,
30 years and somehow we are blocking development and you're accusing
yes,
us
the
of all
township
kinds
is
of things.
blocking development.
for 30
You wanna
years.
see all the emails that their lawyer made me go through papers and papers? And
So I did ask our CAO to try to figure out a number that we can actually return to you, because we do recognize that you need some money. And so I think when she was crunching the numbers, she said that the township would need $110,031, and we could actually release $48,111.11.
and where is that gonna, bring me to?
Well, I don't
Now-
know, but that might get you
But-
further to
Okay.
then
But you wanna hold back 110,000, okay, for the paving and a little bit of vague gravel? Now, when
And
the
asphalt.
township is ready to pave their section and fix Laurier and Eric Street up to standard?
So that's not gonna help you then.
No, because I gotta bring the hydro in, and I gotta sell, 2-3 lots to have some income in, and once the lots are sold, then I'll build up the letter of security here. And that's all the motion's gotta say.
Thank you. Okay, so first, I think it's important to understand that as soon as the hydro goes in, then the township can issue building permits on the first 4 lots. So those building permits can be done, the houses can be built. And then after those 4, that's when we have agreed that the paving could happen, because you don't want the big trucks on the pavement, right? So let them build the houses. So as soon as hydro's in and the properties are sold, then you can get a house permit. So you can't have a house permit right now.
Yes, we can,
and
according
then-
to the agreement.
There is a phase 1 and a phase 2. So we did not get security, that $189,000 security for phase 2. And so we are putting phase 1 and 2 together in the securities so that 158,000 covers all of the road widening that has to be done. I think there's a number of $12,000 that's what it's going to cost. And then there is 62,000 for the actual paving, and there's 25,000 something, I'm sorry, I don't have it like right here, that's needed for the granular A that has to go on top before the paving. So those are the things that still need to be done. So if we have 4 homes and they'll just be on one, but if we have 4 homes, that's the amount of work that needs to be done on the entire subdivision. So that's the $110,000 is the security to make sure that work that is supposed to be done is in fact done. And we expect that it would be done, but it's the security for the township so that if it's not done, it doesn't just become the township's responsibility to finish the subdivision. Because we don't want to do that. That's pretty standard in every subdivision agreement. That's a standard clause.
So then,
I think that there's some miscommunication, or and I don't want to say miscommunication, but I think maybe we need further communication between our two engineers. So we had a site meeting, we said what the deficiencies were, and maybe we have not spelled that out from the township side on here are the deficiencies. Here's what needs to be done. Here's the number that we say can be, you know, like what we need. And then have Bradco agree or disagree, but in writing, tell us why they agree or disagree with the number and the work that we have. And then we can sit down and decide. Right now, we're not agreeing on what needs to be done to finish the subdivision. So I think that's the first next step. We can ask our engineer, and I thought that that's where we were when we left our meeting. So we can ask our engineer to write that out explicitly, that these are, you know, the immediate concerns, and this is the release. Like I said, I think there's 48,000 that we think can be released based on the work that has been done already for phase 1 and phase 2. Again, we don't have the extra money, so that's security, so we can put them together. But I think if we can sit that down, we can at least get to that next step on we agree or we don't agree on what still needs to be done and the value of that work.
I'm just
So-
wondering, like, you're talking about the 4 lots and building on the 4 lots in phase 1. But then when you're talking about security, you're taking security for phase 1 and phase 2. So I'm just wondering if
Well, the
you wanna
other
just
option
consider
would be
phase
to
1,
The other
on its
option
own,
is
because
to
phase-
give us phase 2 security.
but phase
No.
2 security would be after phase 1 security is released, wouldn't it?
I believe that there's a calculation in the subdivision agreement that laid all of that out. So
Yeah,
before phase 2 was even to start, and I guess we
The phase
we
1
tried
is
to
what we
work with the
returned.
developer, and I
We
think
did
at this
not.
point, it's showing that we should have enforced the agreement. So I think that's where we are today. But I think that we need to have some communication on the engineers to be very clear on what has been done, what still needs to be done, and the value of that work. So that we can
Exactly.
release some funds. We want
But
to
if we
release the
do
funds.
nothing, then that's what we get, is
Mhm.
nothing. He's not gonna be able to do anything, we're not going to be able to do anything, and maybe we'll have a subdivision for another 30 years. But what I'm saying is, how can we come forward? How can we help? And I'm only gonna say this quietly. Sometimes we have to put our foot forward a little bit more than what we want. And we have done that, and we've seen a big development, and we came forward where no one else would. And that's what I'm saying, what can we live with? What can we do? How can we move this forward? And that's what we're not getting anywhere at this point, but I would like for council to think about it, get some ideas. I'd like staff to do that, and then possibly talk to Mr. Gagne and the engineers.
I mean, to me, it's just in the engineers to work it out. I mean, I thought from the meeting that I understood that they had it worked out, but it doesn't seem that they
I
have
thought we
it.
had it worked out too, to be honest.
So
We-
anyways, I'm more than happy to, work with Mr. Gagne, but just the engineers work it out.
but why would you wanna hold the funds for paving and the finish?
Because that's the way the subdivision agreement works.
Yes, but the township and your engineer said, we gotta blend in. The road is blend in at the moment. So why are you holding my funds to me to keep going when I said, when we're gonna get some building up there and get some things going, I will bring back the security for the paving. If you don't trust me, I did a lot more work in this township than any one of you, and I hold my word. And I'm tired. If you guys don't pass it, I got another avenue to go.
I'd be comfortable.
I need
passing-
the motion to be passed to grant me some security.
I
And
would
if you don't, then I'd like to have a recorded vote on the motion, on my proposal.
I would be prepared to support a motion this evening to release the $48,000, pending the rest being as the CAO and I believe our manager of public works has indicated, and the engineer on the other side, that they would get together. They can exchange formal correspondence so that there's not a miscommunication. And if that all gets sorted out, then I'm happy to have that conversation again. I need to better understand phase 1 and phase 2 security, because we would be giving up all of the security, which
You
I
still have ten
understand.
thousand dollars in security, plus the $10,000 you owe me.
Okay.
And plus the regulation that's
Yeah.
gonna be done on
Okay,
phase two.
yeah.
So, but
Mr. Gagne, I'm trying to.
why
okay.
are you trying to hold security for paving that will never probably happen on your end? For the past 30 years, you were supposed to fix Lower East Street since 1980.
Well, we haven't been here for 30 years, so we can't speak to that.
Well, it doesn't matter, you're representing the township right
Right.
now. And that's why I'm saying, the township hasn't brought up any road up to what their commitment.
Excuse me,
the past
the
30
past 3 years, this council here has
Well,
done
you
more
didn't bring up
road work than any other council has.
So,
Has there ever been any precedents where an individual like Jules maybe doesn't have the finances available for the agreement, but has lots of property and can maybe put the property up as collateral? Has that been a precedent anywhere? Is
It's
that a
not-
possibility?
It's not that I know of, but I can check with legal.
Because obviously Jules is sitting on money on his property. So if we came back and released this fund so that he can continue to work with a certain amount of property as collateral, so if everything blows up and falls through, the township is still protected that way. They can sell the property and finish the roads. I'm trying to think outside of the box to
Yeah, get a
appease
legal
everyone.
opinion, that's not a bad.
Yeah.
In 1992, when I was on council, I was looking for development. The development in Rutherglen wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have made an agreement with the developer. We grant them building permits, and once the building permits, the house were done, we were asking for security for the main, the balance of the road. And we did.
I'm gonna say one more thing. Prime example of not getting your road built right at first is Greenwood.
Never mind
Look how
Greenwood.
much
You
money
don't
the
know
township's
anything
gonna
about
have to
Greenwood.
spend on Greenwood
And I
to
can
fix
tell
it.
you Greenwood was politics at that table that happened.
Well, we want
Under
to
the
do-
table,
I guess now.
well, you fix it because it's been the same kind of people that's been running this thing.
So obviously, we're not going to come up with any answers tonight.
No, you're not, but I will
I-
come out with one tomorrow.
I like that suggestion,
Thank you, Neri.
if we can look forward.
Jules, can we give you 48?
No.
as-
Because it's not enough. I gotta bring the hydro in, and that's 100,000. And if you guys can't take my word on my proposal,
I think what
But
you're
I can't
hearing is a
take-
council trying to figure out a path forward. You heard Councillor Featherstone put an idea on the table. We have to go get legal, of course.
I'm tired about legal because I've been working this for 30 years, fellas.
Our job
And-
is to protect, and we have to go to legal. I'm not a legal expert.
Well,
I can't
your
do that.
legal advice there is costing me money and it's costing this township money.
It's protecting the township, yes.
No, it's not.
It's costing
He's-
doing business.
Gouging the township.
Well, okay.
So I'm not gonna get no answers from you. I'll go see my answers tomorrow. Well,
Well, that's unfortunate.
I'd look forward to a report if there's ever been any precedents. I think that would help him out. I don't know how much property Jules has, but he's got a lot. So if we're looking at trying to hold 110,000 to finish a road, his property is worth way more than 110,000. So
and
that might be the solution.
as he says, without having the fund, he can't develop like it. How are we saying, well, we're holding these funds until you do this, this and this?
Right.
He
But that's,
can't do it. He can't put the hydro in. He can't.
but that's how it works. So you're supposed to have the money to,
No,
Developing
not
is expensive.
everybody has money like
I
that.
know, but development
And
is
not everybody
expensive.
that works the way Mr. Gagne has. He's gone out of town and worked and brought back and put his money into his property. I'm trying to understand another side of it where it's not cut and dried, that you have the money, build this and you can have the money and go ahead, and not everybody has that. And I'm not trying to go against the rules, but like I said, sometimes you go a little bit beyond, and we have done this. We have done that, and that's why we see the seniors housing up there. Without council support, you would not see that seniors housing there now. That's where I'm getting at. And I would like the staff to look at it, possibly talk to the engineer. Let's see how we can move forward. What are we protecting the township from? Is there anything that, what is the negative impact to our township if we release funds? And I know you've calculated a portion of it, and maybe with other conditions, you could release it not on one lump sum, possibly with these conditions met, you could release another portion up to, I think he's asking for 90%. And that's, we all have to think about it, because it's a hard decision for everybody, and it's difficult for Mr. Gagne as well. So let's think about it, and maybe staff can talk to our engineer and Mr. Gagne's engineer and try and move forward. Okay?
I think Alex has something to say.
Hmm?
I think Alex has something to say.
Oh.
I just wanted to go on the record and say that I agree with Nikki, and I want to throw it out there with Alicia too, that I think if there's some written correspondence back and forth between the two engineers, it'll
Sure.
start this process.
That's all we're asking
Yeah.
for.
Right?
Yeah.
So as long
Yes,
as we
for sure.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
like I
So-
sent the email asking for something back
Right.
from Antoine. He asked for a report and I responded that we
And
sent
I
a
think-
report on the 2nd of
I
October.
think that's where maybe the miscommunication is, like I stated, right? I think if we go back and, you two come up with a written agreement amongst each other and the township agrees, then we can progress forward on the issue, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think until our engineer and yourself come to an agreement, right? We're kind of just sitting, waiting.
Yeah,
in
you
my
two are the
opinion, right?
professionals. Like, I mean,
I don't think we're the
Yeah, I'm
roadblocks
reading
here.
Yeah.
I think it came to council prematurely.
I'm
Like,
just saying,
I
there's
think
an
the
agreement, it'll
request
progress
came to
things
council
forward.
Yeah.
prematurely.
If there's
The
written
thing-
correspondence between two engineers, then.
But
Yeah, as far as the
30
completion of the road.
No,
we
well,
sent
I
the
know,
road.
but
that's
it-
not us.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
we didn't, yeah,
Right.
it wasn't
No,
us, yeah.
but-
Yeah, I
Little
need
more
No,
something in
we
writing.
all
If he's
want the
not
same
happy with
thing.
the road,
That's
We want
good.
to see
I,
it.
and I understand.
I
that.
like
Yeah, I think
It's,
that's all.
it's,
I agree.
I
would
think
like
if,
to
man,
work
if that
with
works, that's a
Antoine
great
if he's happy with
suggestion.
the road,
Like, he's probably got $1 million
then,
in
We
property.
talked about that, so
Yeah,
we
like,
know,
so
but
Take a
I
second
have
look,
his
take a
stuff,
second
his
look.
information from
Well,
here, but I
but
think this is something we
put,
can take
take,
offline, and we
put
can.
a couple lots up
conversation.
as security.
So like.
We don't
you
have to.
And then
probably
we
have
can-
to get the
then
building
you can
in
clear
there.
some.
Well, I'm
But
just
even
gonna
if he had
this,
whatever
because
20
to me,
lots, I don't know,
phase
is that-
one.
even if he
is
sold
completed.
four or five
It's
of
in the
them.
middle.
Oh, I know.
So can we,
So even if
if
you
I
sold
get
some-
legal
Sometimes
on this,
you have
for
to
probably
see it.
those
We have
lots
to-
Oh,
to-
and I'm
to get
okay. I was
moved or
just
something.
letting hold on
Antoine
that.
and yourself.
And I can
and
counsel.
gonna
It's,
do
oh, I know.
I mean, I
That-
also think that's.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand.
So
Yeah,
we're just
not
trying to push
for
it forward.
And
so
numbers
that
of
we can-
Okay, are we back to order?
Yes, order.
But
Spin your gavel.
phase one, like Jules had said that it was completed, he asked for his phase one to be completed, but he sent those emails and he never got phase one stated as completed. So he went ahead and did phase two on his own, right, to continue and move forward. But phase one, like, why are we including security for phase two when phase one is technically not completed?
And
And that's what he's
actually-
asking for, is for phase one funds back.
I understand what you're saying. I just think that we need to sit down and have a side meeting. As I mentioned to council, that I think we need to have a meeting with council, and it's inappropriate for me to be speaking without council's permission, right? So in a council meeting, I'm not really supposed to speak. So,
Yeah, well, I was just
like,
yeah.
looking
so
for
if we
clarification on the
can
number that you
follow
brought
up with
up.
the meeting, well, the number that I brought up is the number that
Includes
you
phase
and
one and two,
Antoine.
but Jules
about.
was asking for phase one to be completed. That's,
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand what.
So if I can have a meeting with her, with our engineer
Sure.
later, will that be fine?
Yep,
Okay.
that's
Should-
good.
Can I just ask one follow-up question? Should we technically have the security deposit for phase two in the bank currently?
Yes.
So that's,
But I'm reading this, I pulled it out and like, it's really unclear the transition from phase one to phase two.
sure, but if what we're hearing is that it's supposed to be, and you're saying that we're mixing it, fair enough, we can not mix it, but then I think that is a counterintuitive to what you're trying to get at, which is, great, we'll release all of phase one the moment we have all of phase two, that's counterproductive to any of the challenge we're trying to
Yeah,
accommodate or
it doesn't
fix,
make,
right?
like, the agreement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No question period.
There were no
Nope.
questions.
Then we'll go to the staff report. I need a mover and a second for the report from the clerk. Good night, Chris. Bylaw 2019-27, remunerations of council. Mover and a seconder.
I have moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Corbett, that the annual pay rate for mayor, deputy mayor, and councillors be increased in accordance with option in the report, and that staff be directed to prepare a bylaw for first and second reading at this council meeting, updating council remuneration for the 2026-2030 term of council.
Okay, does anybody suggest what option?
My option would be, at this point, I think it's, I'm fine with no increase. I think it needs to be part of the conversation in an upcoming election, which is a year around so I'm fine with, is that option A?
Which one?
Zero increase, sorry, your worship. No pay increase for you.
No, this is option 5.
Oh, option five.
That's not till 2027.
Yeah, no, it's whatever one is option,
Option 5 is 0 increase.
option 5.
Yeah, because there's no increase here. It'll be on 2027.
Yes, so basically, the municipal act states that a council must review remuneration and expenses of council in a term of council. My report shows 5 different options, which I've compared several municipalities so that council could get an idea of the surrounding remunerations. And this is not for this council. It's effective for the next term of council.
I have a question. So when was the last time this was discussed?
2018.
So it hasn't happened in many, many
Well,
years.
That would have been the term of council.
2 councils ago, right?
No, it would have been, 2019 is when the bylaw was passed. So that's when it was reviewed and it was effective for that council.
And was it increased?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and then the other question I have is, I know, or I'm pretty sure that some municipalities' rates are low for councillors, but they get paid for every committee meeting they go to.
Yes.
So, I mean, the comparison is kind of tough because it shows a low pay, but they're getting paid considerably for every event they go to or meeting so I mean, I'm just throwing that out there.
Mhm.
It's,
I believe Chisholm is one of those municipalities, townships that council doesn't get a yearly remuneration. They are paid by meeting that they attend. So if they don't attend, they don't get paid for that
and I
meeting.
think Powassan's the
No,
same.
Papineau, Cameron, Chisholm
Papineau,
Town.
yeah.
Isn't Powassan the same? They get paid
Mm.
for, I mean,
No.
they get a lumps, they get a pay, but they also get paid to go
They
to
might get a stipend for,
Yeah.
for any meetings they go
Yeah.
to and
Yeah,
outside
as
of
this
council.
council gets remunerations and per diems for when they attend the
Yeah, but I think
conferences.
even locally, if they go
Yes.
to a meeting, they're getting paid.
Yeah.
Extra, over and above, which I'm just throwing that out there. So
Mhm.
when people look
Yeah.
at it,
yeah, so it seems like Powassan is at the bottom.
right, but they're
probably
really not.
Yeah,
Yes, because all I did was remunerations.
right.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, no, I'm just,
Yeah.
We're second from the bottom.
right. And I mean, I think we do no justice by holding at 0 because then future councils will have to put it up and it'll look bad on them.
Yeah.
If, it's been stagnant for so long and then someone says, oh, we got to get with the times.
So
And
are
ask
you
for
good
6 or
with
8%.
5? We're option 5?
For this council, I don't think but for the next council, is that when we're talking for the next council.
Mhm.
So I mean, like, I think it's been stagnant since 2019, a 3% raise for council for the next council is not,
Yeah, I actually think council needs to, I understand the premise of a 3% raise when you're making $60,000 a year, then it makes sense for a 3% raise. When you're making, what is it, $11,000, 3% is really not getting the next council anywhere.
Yeah.
I think actually, it would be worth the conversation to either restructure and make it meeting based so that, you know, you get a smaller quote unquote salary and then you actually get paid for the meetings you go to. So it's merit based. And or I actually, the other option is we find a municipality, we go straight in the middle. So like, I don't think we should be the highest.
No.
I don't think we should be the lowest either, quite frankly,
We're
knowing
trending
the
at the
amount
bottom.
of, yeah, we're trending at the bottom.
Yes, we are trending at the
And I
bottom.
mean, like Kelvin, the deputy mayor of Kelvin makes $13,200. That's, I mean, not that much,
Yeah.
the Bonfield makes $11,812. And then after taxes, it's about, I don't know, $17 I bring home, I think.
Yeah.
So,
No, yeah, I mean, I know most councils always say, oh, stay at zero, but I mean, you're not doing it justice to future councils.
Well,
Because at
no,
some
with
point,
the price of gas and the travel and
Yeah.
the wear and tear.
at some point, you're gonna have to bring that up and it'll be quite large for one term of council to
Yeah.
do it.
So
So
I
it's
will-
not fair.
I was trying to count all of the meetings in
Oh, God.
in 2023 that we went to. It was horrendous. We had 23 just council meetings, and then there was
Special
library, there was public works at the time. There were, we probably had 12 special meetings that year. But I went through my calendar and just jotted all of them down, trying to put an hourly amount to,
Minimum wage.
yeah.
Less
it's,
than.
yeah.
So it's not, you're not here for the money, but
No.
I mean, like I said, for future councils, you're just hurting them by saying zero.
Well, yeah, if we're deciding on it, I like the option 5, like from the mayor, it's about $4,000 a year, right?
Option
With the
5.
difference in there from 2026 to 2027, and that stays all the way through, so what do you think?
That's
Yeah.
the median, right? That's the median?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She's, that's double. The
Yeah.
mayor there is double what I make.
Right.
Maybe she works double.
14.
Calendar as well, apparently.
If I can, options 2 and 3 and 4 are percentage, so I can appreciate your comment about percentage values. But that is a percentage per year, where option 5 is just jump to that middle, like just go to the middle of the pack, and it stays at that for the entire term.
Yeah, I don't like 5 myself.
I don't either. I think
You
there's
guys don't like 5?
I
No.
don't.
How come?
What
I
are
think
you?
there's a huge disparity between the deputy mayor and the mayor and council. Like, when you look at option 5,
Yeah,
just because it's the average, right?
Mhm.
Just because it's the average. The
So
disparity.
what are you looking at then?
I like option 2.
1%.
No, sorry,
No, I
option
would
3.
just-
Option 3.
It's not worth the paper.
yeah.
2%.
Yeah. I think, 2% or 3%, and then it just goes up incrementally, but everybody goes up together, right?
Yeah, I like 2 or 3. I mean, there's not much difference between the
3
two.
and 3 and 4,
4, sorry,
3
4.
and 4.
I can guarantee you that'll never catch us up. If we want to be
Oh,
middle,
No, we don't
It'll
want
never
to
catch
caught
us up.
up, but I mean, we can't sit stagnant.
No, but at least there's movement, right? So
Right.
by the end of if it was 3%, by the end of the next term,
There's 2030.
yeah, you're making nothing.
A whole $13,000.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, I wonder if there is another option to explore, at least as an option, which is a smaller salary, as I would call it, salary, and then a meeting based.
That's a lot of work for
Stipend.
Yeah, it's too
staff.
much on staff, I think. I think
And you
either
would
pick
have
a
to report
percentage.
every meeting, so you would have to report every meeting, there would be no way, I mean, it can be done, 100% it can be done. It means you have to report every meeting, like agendas, minutes, and send that in to us.
The
And then.
deputy clerk would retire early.
I think
So-
she may. And then, I lost my train of thought. That was a good one. But you would have to bring in each of the meetings, and then we would never be able to budget. I mean, you would have to go back over the last 3 years and
Yeah,
tell
you
me
have
how
to-
many meetings you went
Yeah.
to.
Really no difference between,
And I'm sure you have 40 meetings a year.
Oh, yeah. more.
there's really no difference between 4 and 5. I mean, you just jump to it right away, but at the end of the term, you're at the same money. Right?
Right. You're close, yeah.
Yes,
The
you're
mayor-
a couple $100 out.
You also have the option, if you wanted to explore, of just picking a number. If you're not happy because there's one number that just doesn't match, you can just set the number. We tried to do it based on a value, but
What if we look to go
So-
to
If
the
you-
median and then 3% after, like every year after that? So we course correct? No,
Just math. What is the
I
percentage?
lost my
increase?
options.
What does
From
Google
us.
say?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
the percentage increase from for the mayor?
So
from
2027 in
Yeah,
option
so here,
5 would
so
be the
here.
same?
There, what's the percentage difference there?
Says we need 65 grand.
I'm gonna leave it up to you guys.
Yeah.
What are you
Mine
saying?
is
by 14 to.
Like option
87.
4 is like a $4,700
No. Can't be
difference.
Oh, maybe I'm gonna do that.
right. No, it's the
Oh,
it's
difference,
14, yeah.
right? It's the difference.
287. 18,
Oh, sorry.
195 equals times 100 equals.
If you look at the top, it breaks it down
22%.
for you.
21.5%.
Okay, so, and then what's the percentage between this?
So here,
So the deputy mayor.
No, I
If
get
you
it.
look at the
Yeah.
end numbers, your worship,
So what's the percentage of the deputy mayor? then?
like if
So
you
we
look,
can do
see
like that,
option
right?
4,
So.
like just
is
look
that
at
the same-
council
the same
or deputy mayor,
percentage,
and then
22?
they're almost the
Yeah.
same. They just, this
Yeah.
one jumps up there right away, that one builds over the 4 years.
so you like 4 better than,
Either or, it's, I guess it's the same, but I mean, I think if you pick 5, you also need to put a percentage behind it for the following. Well, I guess the next council will deal with that.
so, 5,975.63, 5,907, 5,975.63.
Not often.
Take away 4,706.45.
973, take away.
4,706.45.
45.
It's about 1,200.
So that's the difference,
Between 4 and 5.
4 and 5, $1,200. Looks a lot like more,
Start the
right?
car.
It's, like I said, again, it's not about the money.
No,
But you have to keep it moving forward.
yes, it also, I mean, we have to be able to attract people who would want to do,
Because this is a lot of hours.
I don't think they're doing this for the money.
No,
You're
No.
not signing up to be a counselor. for the money.
Okay, you guys have to decide. I said I still agree with 5.
well, with 5 is, yeah, I mean, 4 and 5 to me are the same.
I like 4.
Okay, can you read? They said 4.
Well, I said
don't
4.
know. Donna said 4,
Yeah.
not necessarily.
No,
I
yeah,
said
just-
5.
yeah.
What'd you say?
oh gosh.
Jason wants less.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Jason would like to give back. some of it.
I don't mind option 5.
Yeah.
You know, I think the challenge is, are we comfortable with the pay differential between, like it's $6,000 less between council and the mayor. So I'm not saying the mayor shouldn't get paid more, but
No,
what
they
difference
should
should
get
be?
paid more.
198 divided by 18, 195 equals. So it's like 33% more than a council would get paid.
18,
Is that-
95.
So you're looking at like splitting that difference between the councillor, the deputy mayor, and then
Yes,
the mayor?
yes.
Yeah.
So putting the deputy mayor at, so like 15% between council and the deputy mayor and 15%
Yes.
between the
There you go.
deputy
I like
mayor
that.
and
There
the
you
mayor.
go.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that makes sense.
I would do
It's not
that.
very much, though.
No, you're not retiring.
You're not retiring, that's for sure. Yeah.
That's the difference from this one. Oh, from
Yeah,
Here and
12,000.
here, yeah.
It means we can't do.
Oh,
first
well.
and second
So what if
reading
you thought,
No, I know.
what if we go,
We
that
could amend it for the second.
15% more for the deputy and then 15% more than that
For the mayor.
for the mayor?
Okay,
And
but
then
that's not an option.
it's gonna be, they're gonna write it up.
I can
Makes
write
it
it in the
too-
motion.
Makes it
Yeah,
too
Yeah,
complicated.
and then it's,
Okay,
And all of this is not for us. That's the whole thing. Like none of us are. Yeah.
and I
Running.
would like to say
Running.
that we never had an increase since we came.
No, this council is we haven't even discussed it before.
You're probably getting paid almost what you got paid in 2003.
Yeah.
You done yet?
What they react. So how it would work out is, while Nikki's just writing up things, as it's written in 2027, not now, council members would get paid $12,198. And then deputy mayor would get $14,027 and 198 plus 30% and the mayor would get $15,887.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, I think it's a
yeah,
15%.
yeah, yeah, I like it.
Because you got this much more responsibility. The mayor's got this much.
That's fair. I agree.
And then is that
Until
static?
she delegates, eh?
Is that static?
Then you get a little bit more.
Is
eh?
that static?
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think it should be static. And then we can move to, I think that's course correction.
Yeah.
And then we
three?
move to a 3% annual.
Did you
Yeah.
hear that, Nikki?
No, but the next council will make all of, for
We're
the
changing it
next
again.
guys up.
Yeah.
No, we just added the 3%.
Because,
Can I read it?
Yes.
yes, but if we say 3% on top, like every year after that,
Mhm.
any council can change that
Yes.
if they want.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
right. So
Okay,
we'll set it up and then they don't have to,
Yeah.
it'll make their life easier.
Okay, so that the annual pay rate for the mayor, deputy mayor, and councillors be increased in accordance with option 5 as amended on this report, and that staff be directed to prepare a bylaw for first and second reading at this council meeting, updating council remuneration for 2026 to 2030 term of council, and further that there be a 15% pay difference between councillors, deputy mayor, and mayor with a 3% annual increase.
All
I
in favor?
don't, sorry, I don't know that it's option 5.
Yeah.
Well, option 5 gets you to the course correction. It gets you to the average,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Yes.
So option 5 gets you
Yes.
to the average, and then we're changing the deputy mayor, that rate for the deputy mayor.
Okay, yeah,
To make sure it's 15% on either side,
okay,
and then we're increasing it 3%
okay.
annually.
Can you read the 15% again? I just want to make sure that it'll be clear for anybody reading it in the future.
Yeah, so, and further that there be 15% difference between councillors, deputy mayor, and mayor with a 3% annual.
I think you missed 15%. It's gonna sound like the deputy mayor and the mayor is gonna get paid the same.
No, I didn't get that, but maybe.
15% pay difference between councillors and deputy mayor, and 15% between
Yes.
deputy mayor.
And the mayor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, lower. 15% difference.
It's easier for option 5.
Yeah. Really not even, yeah, okay.
Didn't have to figure
This is
anything out.
option 5B.
So you-
Okay, so are we going to the next,
Oh, we
all
gotta
in
move.
favor?
Wait, Nikki's gotta read it again.
No,
Oh,
it's already been moved and seconded by Councillor Clark and seconded by Councillor Corbett. But, okay, and that the annual pay rate for the mayor, deputy mayor, and councillors be increased in accordance with option 5 as amended of this report, and that staff be directed to prepare a bylaw for first and second reading at this council meeting, updating council remuneration for the 2026-2030 term of council, and further that there be a 15% pay difference between councillors and deputy mayor and 15% between deputy mayor and mayor with a 3% annual increase.
Can it be option 6?
What?
Because,
But I don't have a bylaw that has option 6.
okay,
So, because
okay.
we
you're
have
just
to have a
gonna cha-
public meeting at the next
Call the vote.
meeting.
Yeah,
So,
so you're changing option 5 completely then?
no, because we're still keeping that option 5 is going to the average. And then we're just amending the deputy mayor and adding 3%. So yes, but we need to have an option.
Okay, then it's closer to option 4.
Oh my goodness, it's
I'm-
5, it's 5 as amended, so it
Yes.
doesn't matter what 5
Yes,
is.
oh, let's vote.
Yeah.
Okay,
And for
We'll
context,
be here for breakfast.
yeah, exactly. And for context, council, for anybody listening that's gonna be all up in arms that council's getting raised, counselors between what they get paid now and what they're gonna get paid is $66 more a month.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's not, we're not,
Wow.
yeah,
Pay
And it's
off,
not for this council.
yeah, it's not for this council.
No.
Half a tank of gas.
Yeah, I can get that spatula I always wanted.
Taxes will take 50.
Yeah, I know. It'll probably bump everybody up to the next bracket or something, and you're gonna lose money.
Now, are we
Is it-
moving
Is
all
it
in
clear as mud?
favor?
It is,
Give
we
it-
just need it to be carried.
All in favor? Carried.
Well, you can oppose it if you want, yeah.
Recorded vote.
Okay, now we're going to go really fast on the next one.
I hope.
You think so? You think so?
Oh, wait, so
That's my bad.
7.
Who made this
Okay,
agenda?
all right.
Well, the
Can
next
we
one
have a
is too.
mover and a seconder
Yeah.
for the report from the deputy clerk treasurer method of vote? Mover and seconder. Okay,
Moved by Counselor McInnes, seconded by Counselor Corbett, that council receives a staff report regarding method of vote and that in-person paper voting continues as the voting method for the 2026 municipal elections.
all in favor? Carried.
Let's
Next,
go.
we have report from deputy clerk placing a question on the election ballot. We're not deciding the question though, right?
I was gonna say, what kind of,
Well,
What
like a
kind of-
referendum, right? This is where you would,
Oh, we need a mover and seconder. Is that just a choice or come to the election if somebody brings forward a question, right?
No, it's if council wanted to place,
if there was a burning question in the community
yes,
and it had to be yes or no, right?
Yes.
Then we would decide that, oh, okay, we'll ask the electorate.
Yeah,
right?
and only council can do the question, right?
But it's based on feedback that
Yep.
we hear from the community.
and does anybody else do this?
Yeah, lots of people do it.
there's some municipalities that do, yes.
It's occasional. You have to, but you have to set the question because we have to send it to everybody to get approvals, to get everything done.
Yeah.
So you have to set that question. I'm sorry, I don't remember if the
Well
date's May
before.
1st.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
so, yes.
Back when in the olden days, when they were smoking, that
Oh,
seemed to
There you go.
say that might be a question as to whether you can smoke but then most of the council was very happy because the health unit in the province took it over.
Yeah,
So it didn't become
a council thing.
And the world didn't end. I remember that it was gonna be catastrophic. We
Yeah.
use that example, everyone thought the world was gonna end, and then it didn't.
okay,
Okay.
so
I'll read the motion.
Yep.
Moved by Counselor Clark, seconded by Counselor McInnes, that council receives staff report regarding placing a question on the ballot for information purposes only.
all in favor? Carried. Next, we have advanced voting. Could we have a mover and seconder?
Moved by Counselor Corbett, seconded by Counselor Featherstone, that council receives and approves the staff report regarding the advanced voting as presented for information purposes, and that advanced voting be held on Saturday, October 17th, 2026, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the municipal office, and that a bylaw be prepared for adoption.
All in
Oh,
favor?
I have a question.
Oh, good.
Great.
So the original is from 10 to 8. So you're proposing. So I'm wondering if there are any stats on how many people come between 6 and 8, because you're actually decreasing the amount of time that people can advance vote.
Don't think that we have stats on that. So essentially, when there's an advanced vote, most municipalities would have 1 or 2 days of advanced vote because not everyone can come on that one day. Advanced vote doesn't have to be the same as the regular vote day. So on voting day, you get to go from 10 to 8, and then everybody counts. So the day is an extremely long day. You're looking at like a 13, 14-hour day. So advanced vote, if you left it the 10 to 8, then they have after they wrap up that poll, then they have to go on election day. They go over to the voting station, and then they have to count and everything.
I know,
So I don't know the stats on those 2 hours,
Right.
but I did reduce it 2 hours just based on like it's typically in other places. Advanced vote is not the same as election day because not as like
Right.
you might get 100 people out on the entire advanced vote. So they can still come in the morning or they could come out in the evening. And there's staff time that we have to pay for those hours.
But given that we only have 1 day for advanced voting, right? I feel like we're reducing the amount of time that people can vote. It goes till 8 on a work day, and I know that that legislation says that employers have to give so many hours off in order to vote. But I'm not sure. I think this has it. Andre, how long, or Deputy Clerk, how long have you been doing this?
Elections?
Yes.
For over 17 years.
Yeah, and so has it always been to 8 o'clock?
Always.
So I don't know what people
And
might
how many,
expect.
how many people?
Well,
would
that's
you
what
say
I
from
asked.
6
Yeah,
How many people would you say from 6 to 8?
We,
overall.
sorry, don't keep
yeah,
stats.
yeah. So she
If you have
doesn't-
stats on overall numbers on how many people come out on advanced vote.
Yes, but we can't say when they came, right?
It's completely up to council.
What's the staff challenge? It's staff time
Yeah,
is
so we
why.
have to pay staff to be here.
Mhm.
So it's just the amount of hours.
It's 2 extra hours of stuff.
Not concerned about the
It's-
hours,
it's-
and if it's
But
really
it's a
that,
whole Saturday, right? So 10 to 8 is a whole Saturday, but 10 to 6, you can still go out for dinner if you wanted to.
I'll be honest, I think I agree with Councilor Clark. I think I don't want to stifle a vote. I think
No,
if
me too.
we,
This is the only other option that
Yeah.
people get to vote. And maybe people who have lived here for 30 years, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go after 6 o'clock because that's what I've always done at the advanced votes. And now they come and it's closed and it's like, oh, when did that change?
and if we need to shorten it, I would actually rather shorten it on the other side. Leave it open in the evening and close it, open at noon to 8 if we needed to, but again, if it's the cost implications, I think we can support the additional costs of 10 to 8, given that it is important for democracy to allow as much voting time as possible, so.
So you just have to pass the motion as amended.
And it's a Saturday.
Mhm.
Yes.
Sometimes you like to get out of here though, and maybe you don't want to wait till 10 o'clock
What do you mean?
to vote. Say if you wanted to go shopping in North Bay, you wanted to vote.
Oh,
I
you
see
want
what
from
you're-
8 to 8? Is that what you
Yeah.
want?
Yeah. It always has been 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
That's it, I never know.
Yeah,
All right, I'm good, whatever it is.
It could be like.
What,
10
did
till
you
8.
change it or anything?
Pardon?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah.
It could be 10 to 8 at the hall, and it could be 6 to 10 a.m. at your house. If people want advanced voting.
so much for hurrying through these votes.
I like 8, I'm sorry. I don't feel the need to change it.
We can make it a referendum question.
It's too late.
Ooh, for the
One
next
more
time.
person to go with 8. One more person. Do you want it as amended?
Okay, did you read it?
I did read it. I'm
I,
waiting to confirm.
I think we should just stick with
Okay.
what we have.
Not make any
Okay, so
changes.
as amended.
So
All in
8 PM.
favor?
Mhm.
Carried. Next, use of corporate resources policy.
I'd like a
Mover and a second.
sorry, I didn't see the seconder.
I think we all threw our hands up. Yeah, sorry.
Pick one.
Yeah.
Moved by Counselor Clark, seconded by Counselor McInnes, that council receives and approves the staff report regarding use of corporate resources for election purposes policy as presented for information purposes, and that a bylaw be prepared for adoption of the use of corporate resources policy.
All in favor? Carried. Next, we have report from the deputy clerk, municipal elections accessibility plan. Mover in a second.
Moved by Counselor McInnes, seconded by Counselor Corbett, that council receives and approves the staff report regarding municipal elections accessibility plan as presented for information purposes, and that a bylaw be prepared for adoption of the municipal elections accessibility plan.
All in favor? Next, we have the lame duck variant. Mover and a seconder.
Moved by Counselor Clark, seconded by Counselor Featherstone, that council receives the staff report regarding lame duck period, and that a bylaw be prepared as attached, and that final adoption be at the next council meeting.
Any question? Did we have a lame duck period when we came in?
I believe you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All in favor? Carried. Placement of election sign bylaw. Mover and a seconder.
Moved by Counselor McInnes, seconded by Counselor Clark, that a bylaw to regulate the placing, erecting, and displaying of election signs within the boundaries of the corporation of the Township of Bonfield be prepared as attached, and that final adoption be at the next council meeting.
All in favor?
Oh, I think $50 per sign is a lot.
It would motivate you to get out there and pick them up.
It would.
If I may, other municipalities charge each candidate a fee just to put them on. So a deposit, and then if all the signs are picked up, then they would get their deposit back.
I'm personally, I'm fine with $50 because I'm gonna pick mine up.
Oh, okay.
I picked one of your signs up.
Well, that's where it went. I'm pretty sure we all picked each other's signs up.
Everybody, I
We
picked everybody.
shuffled signs around for 4 weeks, and I think I have some of your signs in my garage.
Okay,
Okay,
All in favor?
mover and seconder.
no,
No,
all
that-
in favor.
Just all in favor.
Oh, they're all in favor, okay. Report from Deputy Clerk, Municipal Travel Expenses Policy. Mover and a seconder.
Moved by Counselor Corbett, seconded by Counselor Clark, that the municipal travel expense policy paid to members of council, staff, local boards, and volunteer fire department be approved as presented.
All in favor? Carried. Next we have report from the CAO, trailer bylaw update.
What's happening with it?
Because it's her report now.
Oh, finally.
She sat back and joined.
I'll need a seconder. Moved by Counselor Corbett, seconded by Counselor McInnes, that council approves the wording amendment to bylaw 2025-16 and that the bylaw be adopted as amended.
Any question? I have a question. About the trailers, say portable trailer, horse trailer or whatever. So they can't keep it on their property unless they have home. They have another trailer, then they can't keep it on there, right?
So if you have a property with a trailer license, then you can store that licensed accommodation trailer on the vacant land from December to May, but you cannot store the boat trailer, the ATV, or the livestock trailer. That has to go to your primary residence, not the vacant land.
Oh, not, okay. Okay, any questions? No? All in favor? Or carried? We have corporate services committee. Do we have a motion for that?
There's 3 motions for the Corporate Services Committee.
Okay. Do we have a mover and a seconder for the first motion? That's the Roma conference.
Moved by Counselor Corbett, seconded by Counselor Clark, whereas the Corporate Services Committee recommends to Council that the delegations, as indicated in the minutes, be presented at the Roma Conference in January 2026, be it hereby resolved that Council approves the recommendation.
All in favor? Well, you guys know that I didn't want 7 of us to go, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna bow out.
And I'm not going, I've asked. I ensured in the last meeting that they knew of our conversation, which I think it's important that you go and I not.
Okay, then I have one more question. What are we doing for the delegation for the Conservation Authority? What are we doing going there to have a delegation?
The sheet was in the corporate services notes and minutes. And at the time, we were going to go to have a discussion so that we, the township, can have a discussion one-on-one with the minister to say that when they start to merge these 7 collective, no, the 36 collectives down to 7 regional conservation authorities,
Yeah,
that Bonhoeffer could enlighten on some of the things that have worked well or have not worked well with the current Conservation Authority. So that you can start to.
we don't want to
you
ask
can-
for anything until we know what we're getting, right? From,
Yeah, this is
the
kind of giving them
regional.
that feedback, yeah.
okay,
So I think it's fair to say we started wanting that delegation when we had significant concerns about our local
Mhm.
conservation authority. And then the province, more of how they were gonna be dealing with conservation authorities. So we're gonna take the opportunity, if they said yes to a delegation, to now spin what we're gonna talk about and talk about
They
their
must,
proposed.
they must have watched our
Okay.
meeting when we said we wanted out.
Yes.
Must have. I'm pretty sure they do.
okay, so do we have a mover and seconder? We did, eh?
Yes.
All in favor? Carried. Next, we have the motion for the bridge funding. Mover and a seconder.
Moved by Counselor Corbett, seconded by Counselor Featherstone, Whereas the Corporate Services Committee recommends to council that once the final invoices are received for the bridge replacement, the cost be covered by the Nord's funding, $180,000 remaining amount, and $20,000 from OSIP funding, that staff be authorized to proceed with an approximate $250,000 loan for the remaining balance from TD Bank with a 10-year loan. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of the recommendation.
All in favor? Carried.
Can I just ask, how did our budget come out on the Trunk Road Bridge?
I received all the final invoices on Monday and I haven't put the tally together. I know some invoices did come in under the budget amount, but I don't have an overall number for you.
But we're anticipating it to be at least on budget, if not under budget.
Absolutely.
That's great news. We look forward to that report.
Mhm.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. Okay. Is there another one?
One more.
Oh, yes, the pothole prevention funding. Mover and a seconder.
Moved by Councillor Featherstone, seconded by Councillor McInnes. Whereas the Corporate Services Committee recommends to council that staff apply for the pothole prevention funding allocation for work completed in 2025 to treat 1 kilometer of development road, be it hereby resolved that council approves the recommendation.
All in favor? Carried.
So, sorry, Your Worship, if we receive this funding, we will have already allocated and paid for our pothole work that we did in 2025. So this is really gonna repay what we've already paid, but allow us to actually invest in more pothole work because we've received this?
Yes, that's one way to look at it. Yes. So we will receive the money in 2026,
Right?
but we've spent it in 2025. So it will be on the books as a receivable.
Then you could put it towards anything,
Yeah, and then we can put it towards the
gravel program.
When would you get the money?
The application is in December. I would think that we would get the money before March 31st of 2026.
Good.
Mhm.
Okay, next we have bylaws. Establishing the remuneration of council, bylaw 2025-48.
Not this again.
Mover in a second.
It's just as a minute.
But not 5, right?
5B.
Moved by Councillor Corbett, seconded by Councillor Clark, that bylaw 2025-48 being a bylaw to establish the remunerations of council members be read as amended, be read a first and second time in open council this 25th day of November 2025. So this is only first and second reading, so I will do the amendments for the next council meeting.
Okay. All in favor? Carried.
I think our public works manager's trying to get us to stop the meeting. He's got some beeps
And I
happening.
looked at the time, so he went to put the time back on.
Oh,
It didn't work.
Didn't work.
all right.
And the next one is the bylaw to establish lame duck period. Mover in a seconder.
Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor McInnes, that bylaw 2025-43 being a bylaw to establish lame duck period be read a first and second time in open council this 25th day of November 2025.
All in favor? Carried. Next, we have first and second reading of bylaw 2025-46, placement of election signed by bylaw. Mover in a seconder.
Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Corbett, that bylaw 2025-46 being a bylaw to establish the placement of election signs be read a first and second time in open council this 25th day of November 2025.
All in favor? Carried. Next, we have resolutions to be considered for adoption. City of Cambridge, rent protection. Mover and a seconder.
Moved by Councillor McInnes, seconded by Councillor Clark, that council for the Township of Bonfield supports the City of Cambridge in requesting that the provincial government provide adequate protection against excessive and malicious rent increases for all rental units occupied for residential purposes while maintaining the ability for landlords to operate a viable and sustainable business, and that a copy of this motion be forwarded to the Honorable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, and MPP Vic Fideli.
All in favor? Carried. Next, we have the GST-HST motion from the town of Bradford West, Gwillimbury. Mover and a seconder.
That council, moved by Councillor Featherstone, seconded by Councillor McInnes, that council for the Township of Bonfield supports the town of Bradford West Gwillimbury, calling on the federal government to remove the GST-HST from all new homes purchased as primary residences and to work in partnership with the Government of Ontario to ensure full elimination of the provincial portion, and that a copy of this motion be sent to the Prime Minister of Canada, Minister of Finance, and the Minister of Housing, the Ontario Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, our local MP and MPP.
All in favor? Carried. And then we have some more bylaws. Bylaw 2025-45 to establish dates and times for an advance vote. Mover and a seconder.
Moved by Councillor Corbett, seconded by Councillor McInnes, that council for the Township of Bonfield hereby adopts bylaw 2025-45 as amended, being a bylaw to establish dates and times for an advance vote as presented, and is hereby considered read 3 times and passed this 25th day of November 2025.
All in favor? Carried. Next bylaw to adopt a use of corporate resources for election purposes. Mover and a seconder.
Moved by Councillor Corbett, seconded by Councillor Featherstone, that council for the Township of Bonfield hereby adopts bylaw 2025-44, being a bylaw to adopt a use of corporate resources for election purposes policy as presented, and is hereby considered read 3 times and passed this 25th day of November 2025.
All in favor? Carried. Next one, 2025-49, to amend the trailer bylaw, and that's to
We have
establish
10E, sorry, 10E, the accessibility elections plan.
oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Mover and a seconder, please.
Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor McInnes, that council for the Township of Bonfield hereby adopts bylaw 2025-47, being a bylaw to adopt a municipal elections accessibility plan as presented, and is hereby considered read 3 times and passed this 25th day of November 2025.
All in favor? Carried. Now to amend the trailer bylaw, and that was to to allow for the fines in the bylaw.
Yep, fine.
Mover and a seconder.
Moved by Counselor McInnes, seconded by Counselor Clark, that council for the Township of Bonfield hereby adopts bylaw 2025-49, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 2025-16 as presented, and is hereby considered read 3 times and passed this 25th day of November, 2025.
All in favor? Carried. Next, we have correspondence, and there's a motion to accept the correspondence. A mover and a seconder, please.
Moved by Counselor Corbett, seconded by Counselor Clark, that council receives the correspondence circulated with the agenda of November 25th, 2025.
All in favor? Carried. Next, there was an email from, or a letter from East Barrett. I just want to know if anybody especially Steve.
I'd like to speak.
Anybody wanted to go along with that to change our member on the Conservation Authority?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest issue with Conservation Authority is that the meetings are 3 hours long and it's an hour and a half about group dynamics. We're not there for that is my opinion, but since I've been on the board, like hiring CAOs and firing CAOs and staff and buyouts and like, that's all we're talking about. So the work that they do is valuable and I appreciate that. And I could get on board with that. I'm very tired of hearing about all the group dynamics and all the infrastructure issues with the staffing.
But that's, sorry.
To me, you don't change everybody. You get rid of the leadership and put stronger leadership in. They will bring everybody else in line.
So our person's fine, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's not leadership there.
No, but so East Ferris is saying that the new board, so they want to change everyone so that the new board can begin the process of getting the authority past its current state of disorder and turmoil and hire a chief administrative officer to lead the day-to-day operations and the organization's staff.
Nope, you don't get to change everybody because you can't play in the sandbox together.
Well, I'm just giving Steve the opportunity and maybe Donna.
Oh, yeah, nobody make eye contact with the mayor because she's
Way
gonna-
better fit. If it was saving trees and protecting turtles, that's my wheelhouse. That's not what that board is all about.
Unless Dan wanted to.
No, they wouldn't want me there.
Donna, would you like to go?
You know, I'm happy to do whatever. I think that they, like us, are trying to move forward. And so maybe changing the players and getting new players in, whether they are good, bad, it doesn't matter. It's a group. And so if you have a different group, a completely different group, you're starting from scratch. And
But I think you need to make the caveat, like there's no 4-hour meetings. Like that has to be said because our time is valuable and to waste it 4 hours at a meeting it's.
I would just say there's a year left of this term, and it looks like the province is gonna be shaking up
Right.
the structure of conservation authorities anyways. Not sure I'd spend a whole lot of time spinning my wheels. Sorry, Council Featherstone. I think you should close out your term there.
I kind of agree. But
Yeah,
Well, it's just that he was having a hard time
yeah.
because of his work.
he's made relationships and,
Oh, yeah.
You make the majority of meetings. They're just.
oh, yeah,
difficult to-
well.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so like curling is definitely over in May as well. So from then on, it'll be fine again.
Right.
So,
Well, the choice is yours.
yeah, I think,
Except nobody else wants it. So the choice isn't really yours.
I think
You'll keep it.
we'll run it out and. see
You're
what
gonna
happens
stay
at
with
the
it,
end.
okay. All right, we don't need to go through anything else there. And the correspondence, and then the confirmatory bylaw.
Oh,
Yes.
don't we have the levy from the North Bay Conservation Authority for 2026. They gave us a draft budget for 2026 along
Yeah.
with the breakdown.
You know, there's questions there.
Well, not questions, but like just doing the simple math, there's nearly $200,000 in the building that we're paying for. So if they were renting, there wouldn't be property taxes or natural gas, repair and maintenance, interest expense for a mortgage, water, hydro, mortgage principal repayment. Like
The
it's
list goes
nearly
on.
$200,000 that, gets charged to us. And our levy didn't stay the same. It increased by a few $1,000s.
But we own that as well, right?
We own what? The building? Yeah, well, what are we gonna do with it?
Yeah, well, they at least have the asset.
I don't know what we do with it.
And we're
Yeah.
paying for the repairs and, if they were renting, what do you rent?
You pay your more rent and you're done.
And yes, and everything is included in all of that, the property taxes, all of that. So I
Maybe,
would like to do the cost benefit analysis.
maybe they should look at selling the building and putting that extra revenue towards Mattawa Conservation.
Well, yes.
And here's the other thing. What other conservation is built up on top of a rock and not down by the water?
Yeah,
So I can appreciate all of that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I think the only counter argument I would have to that is there is an asset sitting there. If they sell the asset, like we're not any further ahead because you're going to sell it to somebody who is going to be a business person that's going to make it for profit. Whether we rent that building or any other leased building is going to be the mortgage. And any business person is going to add in the expenses that they anticipate in that building over time, and that's your lease payment. So there is two sides to that. I just didn't want it to only sit with one side. I'm not
No,
sure how I sit on it, but
yeah. I was looking for the cost benefit analysis, right? So
Yeah.
what is the rental rate as opposed to adding all of these things together? I know that we have an asset in the end, and I guess if it was, a nominal amount, the difference, then sure, let's
Yeah,
buy
and
a
it's
building.
so much a square foot.
Exactly. And then as they contract and expand, right? Because there was a lot of, because of Bill 33 or the bill that, essentially stripped away a lot of the authority, there was less staff. But now we have a big building, right? And are we renting out some of the building? Are we generating revenue?
Maybe you should ask
I
the
didn't
CAO that.
see that at the top there.
well,
I think assets are gonna change there too over the next
Yeah,
year
rental
or so,
revenue.
because I think they're still looking at selling the ski hill and ski company to North Bay.
Mhm.
So I think that building will probably go with that deal, I would assume. Because a lot of the programming and everything for the ski hill is run out of there, so.
then we're going to be paying rent to North Bay that you will be complaining about. Like it's all going to happen regardless. So
Yeah, I think there's a lot of questions and things going on, but we're not really sure what it's gonna look like.
If you were on the board, you could maybe ask some questions and get some answers.
okay.
You still have that choice, you two. Haven't skipped through the rest of it yet.
Let's share it.
He'll be the turtles, you do the business.
Yeah.
Okay, now we need the confirmatory bylaw. Mover and a seconder.
Moved by Councillor Featherstone, seconded by Councillor McInnes, that the council for the Township of Bonnfield hereby adopts bylaw 2025-41 to confirm the proceedings of council from November 12th, 2025 to November 25th, 2025, as presented and is considered read 3 times and passed this 25th day of November, 2025.
All in favor? Carried. And then we have a closed session.
Yes. So I will close the meeting.
Oh, yes.
You were, can we have a 5 minute with, thank you. Jeez,